Dear children, welcome to science lecture. Children, very often we hear people say, it is so hot today, or it is raining so heavily today. What are they discussing about? They are discussing about the weather of a place. Children, the clothes we wear, the food we eat, the activities we do, all depend on the weather. For example, when it rains, we wear raincoats, eat hot food, and avoid playing outside. In this way, the weather of a place affects our daily lives. So children, let's begin with our science chapter number 14, Weather, Air and Water. In this chapter, we are going to study about weather and the factors that affect the weather, means about air and water. Let's see the main points we are going to cover under this chapter. What is weather? Water cycle and weather. How air affects weather. What is the season and climate? Before we could start, let's have a look on the scientific terms first. Atmosphere, the blanket of air or gases surrounding the earth. Climate, the average weather of a particular region over a time period. Condensation, when water vapor in the air gets cooled down and changes back into liquid. Evaporation, change of water into water vapor on heating. Humidity, the amount of water vapor in the air. Precipitation, when clouds get very heavy and water falls back to the earth in the form of a rain or snow. Water cycle, the process through which water moves all around the earth. Weather, the condition of the atmosphere at a particular time. Now children, let's begin with the main content here. First, let us study what is weather. Children, weather is the condition of an atmosphere at a particular time. Or you can say weather is the day-to-day condition of a place. Means the condition of a wind, rain, sunshine and clouds at a place and at a particular time. The sun, air and water together alter the day-to-day weather conditions. Weather conditions may change every day. Weather also changes during the year. Some months are very hot while some are very cold. Some months have pleasant weather. It is neither too hot nor too cold. Children, the condition of the atmosphere at a particular time is referred to as weather. And what is atmosphere? Atmosphere is the blanket of air or gases surrounding the earth. Children, our earth is surrounded by a thick layer of air, or we can say a blanket of air and gases. You all know air is the mixture of many gases. So, atmosphere is the blanket of air or gases surrounding the earth. Children, have you ever thought, why does the weather change? Let us discuss the different conditions which affect the weather. The different factors that causes the changes in the weather. So, we'll study first about the factor that affects the weather, that is water. So, let's see how water affects weather. Children, water vapor is an important gas in the atmosphere. As I said, air is the mixture of many gases. Air also contains the dust particles, water vapor, and gases. So children, water vapor is also a gas and it is an important gas in the atmosphere. Humidity is the amount of water vapor in the air. Children, humidity means whatever amount of water vapor present in the air, and it also affects the weather of a place. Children, due to this water vapor, the clouds are largely formed or made up in the sky, and then the condensation of these vapors into droplets brings the rain and snow. Means, children, you have studied already about water cycle. Due to this water cycle, the water moves all around the earth. Children, here we'll study how the water affects the weather. And the best example is the water cycle. Children, water cycle is the process through which water moves all around the earth. In nature, the form of water keeps on changing. Water in nature keeps on changing into water vapor, and this is called evaporation. You can see here in the picture, this is the picture of a water cycle, and already you have studied about water cycle and the different processes that involved in the process or the processes involved in the water cycle. So, evaporation, this is the process in which water changes into water vapor or steam on heating. Children, the rays of the sun fall on the surface of different water bodies like oceans, rivers and ponds. Okay, and due to these sun rays, the water heats up and changes into water vapor. The water vapor rises up into the air, and when these vapors come in contact with cool air, they form tiny droplets. Okay, and then this is called as a condensation. See here, condensation is the exact opposite process of evaporation. Means in evaporation, water changes into water vapor or steam on heating. You can see here the water here in the ocean gets heat up due to the heat of the sun, and then it changes into water vapor or a steam. So this process is called as a evaporation. Then the water vapors changes into water on cooling. Means when this water vapor rises up into the air, these vapors come in contact with cool air and they form tiny water droplets. And this is called as a condensation. Means water vapor changes into water on cooling. Okay, so this is the condensation. Then when the water droplets get too heavy, the clouds cannot hold them. Then they fall as a rain. And this process is called as a precipitation. You can see in the diagram here. The water droplets join together first to form the clouds. And when the water droplets, means these clouds get heavy and they cannot bear by the air, then they fall as a rain or in the form of a snow, and this is called as a precipitation. Okay, the rainwater flows back into the oceans, rivers and ponds due to the rain. Understand? And then this way the water gets collected back into the water bodies, and this is called as a collection. Understood? Whatever water heated, means evaporated and condensed, then precipitate and then come back to the earth. This process is called as a water cycle. Understood? And the change of water from one form to another, it is a continuous process and it never stops. And this process is called as a water cycle. Understood all of you? Let's see once again. Water cycle is the process through which water moves all around the earth. Evaporation, the first process involved in water cycle is evaporation, and in this process water changes into water vapor or a steam on heating. Then condensation, water vapor changes into water on cooling. Precipitation, form of a liquid or frozen water that fall in the form of a rain or snow. Collection, getting back of water in the water bodies. Some of the water ends up on the land and gets soaked up to form groundwater. The next factor that affects the weather is air. So let's study how air affects the weather. Children, air is all around us. Though we cannot see it, we can feel it. Children, air is a mixture of many gases and water vapor, dust. It also contains germs, smoke, dust and harmful gases given out by vehicles and factories. Children, we can feel the air, but we cannot see it. Children, you know about wind. Moving air is called as a wind. This weather gets affected by the direction of the wind. It also affected by wind force. Wind force may be gentle, moderate or strong. Gentle wind is called as a breeze. Moderate means not very gentle and not very strong. And storm means strong winds. And you know, when the winds blow strongly, it destroys the buildings, homes. Then the trees are also gets uprooted because of the strong winds. Even it can bring down the power also. So children, this way the air also affects the weather. Understood? You all know now about the climate. Children, climate is the average weather of a particular region over a time period. Climate describes long-term state of the atmosphere. And weather. Weather is the day-to-day condition of a place. Weather describes the short-term state of the atmosphere. And weather is what is happening today or this week. As I said, weather is day-to-day condition of the place. It may changes. It may change in a single day or in a week. Okay. So children, climate and seasons. Climate is the average weather of a particular region over a time period. And climate is the long-term state of the atmosphere. Weather is the short-term state of the atmosphere. The main difference between climate and weather is climate is the long-term state of the atmosphere, whereas weather is the short-term state of the atmosphere. And weather is the condition of the atmosphere at a particular time. Now children, next topic is seasons. Children, season is a period during which the weather remains almost the same for many days. Okay. Season is the period during which the weather remains almost same for many days. And in India, we experience 5 different seasons. Summer, winter, monsoon, spring and autumn. These are the main seasons in our India. Children, you all know seasons are caused because you have studied because of the revolution. Okay, seasons are caused because of the earth season can change because of the revolution of the earth around the sun. There are different main causes also there are different means other causes also, that reasons also that causes the season. Sorry, we'll study now about the reasons that causes the season. So the first reason is the movement of the earth around the sun, means revolution. Then the tilt of the earth, our earth is a little tilted. And the third main cause is, or reason is, how high the sun will get in the sky. So because of these three main reasons, the seasons are caused. Understood? Now children, we'll move with the next topic, that is question answers. So children, now we will write first the subjective type questions here on page number 108 you have given. So let's see what is the first question. What is the weather? The condition of the atmosphere at a particular time is referred to as the weather. Then next question, what is humidity? Humidity is the amount of water vapor in air. The amount of water vapor in the air affects the weather of a. The next question is, how does the water cycle cause rain or snow? Answer, the clouds in the sky are largely made up of water vapors. The condensation of these vapors into droplets brings rain and snow. What is atmosphere? Atmosphere is the blanket of air or gases surrounding the earth. How does air affect weather? Weather gets affected by the direction of wind, north, south, east or west. It also gets affected by wind force, gentle, moderate or strong. So children, here is the end of our chapter number 14, weather, air and water.